The Sword of Valor glows as if in greeting. The glow is so bright it is not immediately clear there is another source of light present, the shimmering golden wings of magnificent angel. I grew wings!
Valiant champion of Golarion,
Hello,
allow
that's
me
someone
to
else.
greet you.
What the fuck are you?
My name is the Hand of the Inheritor, and I am the Herald of Iomedae, the Lightbringer.
You're the Hand of the Inheritor. The face of the angel is hidden by a helm, but his eyes are clearly looking at you. When he begins to speak, there is an undercurrent of excitement in his surrounding proud voice. The angel then drops to one knee before you, his grace bellying his monumental stature. Arise.
I am only giving you the credit you deserve, valiant champion. We have much to discuss, champion. You must have many questions for me, and I for you. First of all, I wish to say that I have come here to do what I can to help you. But also because I too need your help. But what I need most of all is an answer to a question that has been troubling me.
You're here, does that mean I'm truly am Iomedae's chosen? So many questions for you to tell me about Iomedae and heaven. What did you want to ask? Does it mean I'm truly Iomedae's chosen?
What does your heart tell you?
The chosen order to Golarion. Again, these abilities out of nowhere. I have no idea what to do with them. I believe the goddess chose me, but I'm not happy about it. I wish the gods had left me alone. I believe I'm the chosen one.
Conviction like that is what is needed to set hearts ablaze in righteous fury. I'm glad to see it in you. I hope my answer won't cause you to waver in your certitude. Listen, I cannot answer yes or no to your question, for it would not be an honest answer. Do not wait for me to say, here is the power bestowed upon you from on high, and this is the task you must complete. That will not happen. For my lady Iomedae, righteous queen of heaven, may mark a mortal with her blessing, but she would never seek to impose her will. Sometimes even I am not privy to her plans. I have come to you not at her command, but of my own accord. But I would recognize the light in heaven in any soul, and I see it in you. I can only guess how and why it was lit. Perhaps finding the answer to this question is a trial you must undergo.
I wonder if you pick the other path, okay, for a demon with a devil spawn up here instead of the angel. I had so many questions. Will you tell me about Iomedae and heaven?
Most certainly, with great pleasure. But first, let's discuss the issues of the day. I'm sure we'll have time to talk after that.
What did you want to ask?
I sense astonishing power in you, akin to my own. But not just that. Many of Heaven's warriors fought the monsters of the Worldwound, and among them there was one I especially cherished. My young
Lariel.
comrade and friend, Lariel.
At the caves under Kenabres. The one that carried the sword that disappeared and we got angel powers.
He and his sister Targona crafted holy weapons and exchanged them as a sign of loyalty and camaraderie. Lariel and Targona both disappeared in those dark years when we lost Dresden and the Sword of Valor. Even I failed to find any trace of my friends. But you carry an echo inside you, the memory of Lariel's sword. How did this come to be?
Reveal the light of heaven. You say carry an echo of Lariel's sword, you mean this? Receive the sword in caves with Kenabres. I had a vision in which Lariel was betrayed and bravely died fighting. Receive the sword in caves with I had a vision in which Lariel was betrayed. He died protecting his mortal companion. I received the sword in a case with Kenabres had a vision in which Lariel foolishly let himself be lured in the trap and was killed. Reveal the light of heaven.
Yes, I recognize this power as mortals recognize the voice of a dear friend. It's so sad to know I will never again see the one to whom this sword once belonged. But to see its light still shining in worthy hands gives me hope.
Received the sword in case when I had a vision in which Lariel was betrayed and bravely died fighting. Vision in which Lariel was betrayed, he died protecting his mortal companion. He died protecting his mortal companion.
Yes, that sounds like him. He loved mortals and understood them better than many of us celestial warriors did. Or at least, he thought he understood them.
No, you should definitely play this game a lot. Okay, 5, 6 runs at least. Let's be real.
But you say the vision visited you in the caves beneath Canabras? I see now. The suffering of the first Crusaders, whose children were maimed by the demon's strange villainy, was a matter very close to Lariel's heart. For most of us, our only concern was defeating the demons. But Lariel wanted to protect mortals above all else. I think he went into those caves in search of the people who came to be known as mongrels. But demons often use our virtues to hurt and torment. They turned a rescue mission into a deadly trap. They will pay for this sin and others. Forgive me for my outburst, and thank you for your story. At least now I know what fate my dear friend suffered.
Do you know who killed Lariel? The creature resembled Discari and possessed immense power. Anything about the people who accompanied Lariel to the caves? Most of them were traitors. But one girl stood against them and she perished. Who killed Lariel?
Many demons in the Abyss mimic the appearance of their repellent master, but I do not think it was a Darachni or a similar beast. I find myself reluctant even to utter this name under the skies of Golarion, but there is a monster who takes special pleasure in killing warriors of heaven. It's called the Echo of Discari, for it truly is an echo. Not a demon born of the Abyss, but an artificial creation of the Lord himself, wrought by him and several of his mortal followers. I sense his fetid mark in this tale. The Echo likes to strike by stealth, weaving an intricate web of lies and treason, and he despises everything connected to heaven and Iomade. I am not in the least surprised that he hunted Lariel down.
Lord of Locusts. Defeated by Aradan. Anything about the people who accompanied Lariel to the caves? Most of them were traitors. One girl stood against them and she perished.
Alas, I do not know the names of traitors or the heroine. Lariel died shortly before the Worldwound opened its mouth for a second time, devouring new lands. Many Crusaders disappeared in those dark days of chaos. The lists of the dead and missing were long. I assume the names of Lariel's companions were lost along with them. Perhaps those traitors are honored as fallen heroes today.
No.
I do. This story is not over, and I humbly ask for your help.
What?
I will ask for help not for myself, but for the righteous souls who may be in danger. Listen, I am going to reveal a secret to you that no Crusader has known before, except for the righteous Queen Galfrey. The demons believe their control over the Worldwound is absolute, especially at its heart, the corrupted lands near the Threshold Fortress. But this is not true. There, in that web of evil, lies an enclave of the forces of good, the last shrine of ill-fated Sarkoris. That place is called Pelura's Fall. The Shimmering Maiden is an Imperial Lord, our comrade and friend. She was able to conceal her temple from the eyes of the demons, and keep it hidden all these years, from the opening of the Worldwound until this very day. The waterfalls that gave name to the temple have run dry, but not the bravery of those who stood guard when their nation fell. The servants of Pelura have an important mission. They explore the Worldwound from the inside, looking for ways to close it once and for all and restore the lands of Sarkoris. They have risked their lives, forsaking all joys and rewards in pursuit of this goal, and they have been busy with their research for 100 years. Secrecy is their only protection. If that is lost, all the forces of the Crusader army will not be enough to protect the temple. I would not reveal this secret to anyone else, but the light of heaven is so bright in you that I cannot help but trust it. Moreover, I would like you to visit Pelura's Fall with me. There are 2 reasons for this. First, I am worried about the fate of our valiant allies, and I want you to meet them, champion. Second, I would like you to show them the light of Lariel's sword. As I mentioned, this sword was created by his sister Targona. She went missing at the same time as her celestial brother. We found no evidence of her death nor any other trace of her. But by touching the sword she made, the seers of Pelura might shed some light upon her fate. Please, help me in this task. My heart yearns to find my lost comrades, or to punish those responsible for their deaths.
I wonder if we're gonna get to see all of those. We've seen the Hand of the Inheritor as a statue in Kenabres, and there were 5 more on top of Hand of the Inheritor. That's only the first one. Tell me about Pelura.
She is an Imperial Lord, a powerful angel, one of our most important allies, and my loyal friend. She is the mistress of the stars, and the mysterious light of the Aurora. Sarkoris was the land where Pelura was revealed with particular fervor, where her most important temples were located. When the demons came to this poor land, the priests and devotees of Pelura accepted the challenge bravely. Many died protecting and healing their friends in the first years of the calamity. This saddened the Shimmering Maiden. Pelura boldly decided to intervene in the affairs of mortals, and used powerful spells to hide her main temple. Even the strongest of demons cannot find it.
Tell me about the temple and the people who live there.
Pelura's Fall was once a great Sarkorian shrine. From the city of Iz and other lands, the burial barges of great chiefs would go there to set off on their last journey into the mighty streams of the falls. But the temple was famous not only as a final resting place. Pelura is the patron of stargazers. Her servants possess celestial wisdom. In reading the stars, they discover the mysteries and secrets of the world. In times of old, people would seek their counsel on many different matters, and they were respected and honored throughout Sarkoris.
So the city of Iz does exist.
Today, Pelura's Fall is not what it once was. 100 years of isolation has placed an unbearable burden on the shoulders of the stargazers and their guards. But they persevere, despite the hardships. You should meet these people, for you could not hope to find a better example of self-denial and resilience.
Tell me more about Targona and Lariel.
Heaven's grief at their loss could not be any greater. L'Oreal and Targona were daring and merciful in equal measure, and relentless in fighting evil. They called each other brother and sister because one soul was used to create them. Yes, it happens. Sometimes an angel is made of many souls, or the essence of the upper planes. And sometimes, one soul can give life to several supernatural creatures. This was the case with Targona and L'Oreal. When the Worldwound opened, they were the first to go to the mortal's aid. Alas, heaven was in extreme upheaval after great Arodin died. When the evil mind of Arilu Vorlesh, paired with the will of cursed Discari, shook the foundations of the world, while the other angels and Imperial Lords were slowly waking up to the disaster that was unfolding by holding councils and getting bogged down in speculation. Targona and L'Oreal were already fighting demons, leading refugees out of the fallen Sarkoris, and trying to find out what had happened on Golarion and how to deal with it. For what had happened was so monstrous, so extraordinary, that even Heaven did not know what to expect next. When Mendev answered the challenge of the Abyss and became the Kingdom of Crusaders, Targona and L'Oreal shared the hardships and glories of the First Crusade with their mortal comrades. And then they both disappeared. First L'Oreal, and then his sister immediately after. I was unable to search for them the moment I found out, for the Worldwound had just reopened and Dresden had fallen. It was a tremendous blow for everyone. By the time I was able to begin the search, the tide of chaos had swept away all traces of them. Only your arrival has shed some light on the sad fate of L'Oreal.
I need to settle other matters before I can go to Pelura's Fall.
As you wish, champion. Find me when you decide it's time to go to Pelura's Fall. For only I can transport you to the secret temple.
I can only imagine how long that map is gonna be. If it was 3 days in Dresden, when we were conquering Dresden, now it's gonna be 5 days in Pelura's Fall. Can only fucking imagine that. Now we can even speak with him more. I wanna ask you questions about our mission at Pelura's Fall.
She is an Imperial Lord.
We already asked that.
Pelura's Fall.
We already asked that. What do you think of the Sword of Valor? It has changed under the effects of my powers. Do not fret, champion. The great relic given to the world by my lady Yomade will continue to serve you just as it served all people before now. The Sword of Valor has not lost its protective properties, it has merely changed its design. Some might call it blasphemous, but not I. For the power that changed the banner design was given to you by Yomadea herself. It seems that I caused the Sword of Valor to change. Blood from the wound on my chest fell onto the banner, and that means this mysterious wound is Mark of Valor, given to you by my mistress, setting you apart from all the rest, champion. Are you sure the wound is a gift from Yomadea? No. I could be mistaken and unable to perceive the full truth. The Inheritor thoughts are hidden from me, for I am but her hand. I do not test her will with my doubts, nor crave answers to my questions. I simply trust and serve. But I know that if your body had been harmed by malevolent fiends, my goddess would have extended her mercy to you and healed you. Why did the goddess bestow this wound on me? Because this world of yours, champion, is bleeding. My lady chosen one carries a crimson mark as a sign of a great suffering borne by mortal kind. Scarlet drops on your breast, they are the blood of all the martyrs and all the innocents. This is how I see it. Can you heal me? Defy my lady's will, it pains me, but I must refuse you. If you're suffering from this affliction, it must be part of Inheritor's design. The pain serves to remind you of the path you must take. Tell me about yourself and your goddess. I'll gladly answer any question. What is it like being the herald of a diet? It's a great honor and great responsibility. The herald is not always the strongest amongst deity servants. but the Herald is always one who embodies the key principles of their fate. This means that I'm bound to uphold the highest ideals of Yomedea, righteous valor, justice, and honor. This is a tall order even for an angel, but I cannot falter in my duty even slightly. Therein lies my service to the goddess and the thousands of her faithful followers. What does a herald usually do? I serve as the hand and voice of the goddess, carrying out her will and delivering her message. And her radiance has no task for me. I'm occupied by the same duties as other warriors of heaven. I keep unfailing watch over the goddess domain. I escort the souls of the faithful to Pharasma's court. And then on the other waiting afterlife. I also watch over the goddess chosen. When the opportunity arises, I descend into hell to engage in honest combat with the devils. It allows me to study their tactics. What is Yomedea like? You're hoping to hear a tale of her untold divine might and the awe she elicits in those around her. Yet this is true of the Inheritor, but it's also true that she seemed much closer and understandable to you than to others. Such as myself, for example. Yomedea was born an ordinary person in the cursed lands of Sheliax and traveled a long road before she became the righteous queen of heaven. She has never forgotten who she was before. I am older than my lady goddess, much older, and still I bow down before her foresight and wisdom. We mortals who spend much of our time in the outer planes can sometimes struggle to comprehend the pain, fear, and joy that mortals feel, but not Yomedea. She is a human as she is divine. Why is Heaven's host not aiding the Crusaders? He could have destroyed the Worldwound long ago. You cannot imagine how your question fills me with sorrow. My greatest desire since the day of the Worldwound opened was to come here at the head of a light-bringing army and drive out legions of darkness, to carry them until they were cowering in the farthest corners of the abyss. Alas, the first servants of the gods are greatly restricted in what we can do. The Crusades are the mortals' battle for their own world. If I bring angelic forces here, it will become a war between heaven and the abyss. Waves of power magic incinerating everything within sight, armies of celestials and demons fighting in every corner of this world. The consequences would be horrific. I remember everything you have seen up to now has been the work of only 3 demon lords, Discari and Baphomet, who were supported by Nocticula, the mistress of Gil. But in the abyss there are dozens of creatures with similar power. They're disuned and despise one another almost as much as they despise all that is light and righteous. But be sure that they will not miss a chance to sink their teeth into heaven's throat. If all the demon lords marched into Golarion, it would be the stuff of nightmares. And it cannot be allowed to become reality. If you can't interfere in the course of the crusade, why are you helping me then? There's permissible interference and then there's crossing the line. I was permitted to create the war stones and give them to the Crusaders. So you did it. The one in Kenabres was created by him. To offer my advice and from time to time even appear on the battlefield myself to accompany several allies. This does not stray beyond the bounds of the mortal's war. I could have been summoned with equal success by a faithful cleric. But the appearance here on Heaven's multitudinous host in full force is another matter entirely. Alas, for now I can only offer you this, my presence and a small troop of my loyal soldiers. Well, we got the angels for the army. I want to talk to you about angels. How are angels made? Like other supernatural beings, who also often, though not always, are born from the souls of mortals. You must be aware of the grand laws governing the cycle of birth and death. After Pharasma's court, each mortal soul receives their merited afterlife. Hell and the abyss, heaven and Elysium. Each soul goes to the plane that called to them in life. But when they arrive at their destination, a different fate awaits each soul. Where evil reigns supreme, souls typically become commodities or prey. And a sent few are reborn as wicked fiends. In the planes of good, souls are destined for peaceful rest. or great deeds in the new guise. Such is the lot of angels. We are born from the souls of noble mortals. One soul or several, it can vary. Sometimes the gods can also create angels out of the essence of the plane. But this essence also contains fragments of good souls. What is the difference between angels and mortals? That's a good question for sages and philosophers to debate. I'm just a simple warrior. The hand of the Inheritor's voice sounds cheerful, but becomes increasingly sullen as he continues. Although many supernatural beings are born from the souls of mortals, we are not mortals. We are cut from the cloth of the plane from which we originate. We are an idea made flesh. Many things mortals care deeply about mean nothing to us, such as time, for instance, or genre. Only a few of my kind see themselves as male or female. For the majority of angels, these words are meaningless. We can communicate with any creature without learning their language, and we do not freeze in even the most terrible frost. We're different, but we'll never look down on mortals because of that, and we will never ever stop praying for you, or protecting you. In Kenabres, I touched the war stone and I saw the angels trapped inside. It was a heavy decision for all of us. My mistress sent out a call to take a stand against the demons, and many angels of heaven answered it. We chose the noblest and bravest from among those who volunteered to sacrifice their freedom for the sake of Golarion, and we locked their souls inside the war stones. They were fated to stand guard there, inside the cold depths of a stone, pitting their unbending will against creeping demonic corruption. Alas, the goddess and I failed to account for the weakness that lurks even in the best of us. Time has not been kind to my brothers and sisters. Despair has taken root in their souls, forcing them to act against their goddess and their calling. Thank you for being brave enough to... Oh, now the choices. Thank you for being brave enough to put an end to their vigil. I pray the gods of the light help my brothers and sisters, wherever they may be now. I do not condemn them. I do not know if I could have withstood the demonic corruption if I had been in their place. Can you tell me anything about my power? No. Even I am not privy to all the workings of my radiant mistress. I believe that she has been chosen you, and I know that she watches over her chosen most attentively. She does not lead mortals by hand, but allows them to prove themselves. To prove that they are worthy of her divine mercy. Almost as soon as I met you, I felt that I had gained a long-lost brother. The flame of heaven bursts so brightly within you, it's impossible to miss it. While Yomedea was still mortal, she underwent the test of the Starstone and gained her godhood. May well be that you're experiencing a similar trial, at the end of which you will gain true righteousness and power. Starstone. A unique gemstone meteorite that was part of the massive meteor shower that struck Golarion. This event known as Earthfall, the one that storyteller is speaking about, caused the destruction of many ancient empires including Aslan, Tassilon and Coloran. It also created the Inner Sea and ushered in the Age of Darkness.